What if your entire digital life was exposed to the world? Imagine the chaos, the vulnerability, the invasion of your privacy. Picture the secrets you've tucked away in the deep recesses of your email, all laid bare for the world to see. Now, amplify that personal anxiety 1,000-fold, as we're not just talking about an individual's digital exposure. This is the story of a corporate giant's nightmare. Well, this is not just a hypothetical scenario. It happened to one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world, Sony Pictures. The year was 2014. Sony Pictures was about to release a comedy film titled The Interview, a film that, unbeknownst to its creators, would serve as the catalyst for an unforeseen digital storm. The Interview was no ordinary comedy. The film was a satirical take on a fictional plot to assassinate North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un. It was bold, audacious, and unapologetic in its portrayal, a daring narrative that stirred up a hornet's nest of controversy. The film's depiction of the North Korean leader was a source of intense debate and criticism. The audacity to portray the assassination of a sitting world leader, even in a fictional context, was seen as a direct affront. The controversy was not confined to the realms of film criticism and political commentary. It transcended boundaries, reaching the ears of the very government it satirized. In North Korea, the film was seen as an act of aggression, a blatant provocation. The depiction of their leader in such a manner was unacceptable. The North Korean government denounced the film, calling it a most undisguised act of terrorism and war. The controversy surrounding The Interview was reaching a boiling point. Unbeknownst to Sony Pictures, the film had set the stage for a cyber confrontation of unprecedented scale. The stage was set, the players unaware, and the trigger had been pulled. But little did they know that this film would set off one of the most notorious cyber attacks in history. Opening, the hackers, believed to be associated with North Korea, infiltrated Sony Pictures network. Imagine a fortress, impregnable, secure, and seemingly invincible. Now, consider this fortress to be Sony Pictures network, housing a treasure trove of sensitive data, intellectual property, and financial details. This fortress, too, fell to the relentless onslaught of the hackers. The infiltration was not a quick hit and run. It was a methodical and calculated assault, a slow-burning fuse leading to a devastating explosion. The hackers, like ghostly spectres, slithered into the network, bypassing firewalls and security protocols with chilling ease. Without alarming the sentinels of the digital fortress, they made their way into the heart of Sony's network. Once inside, the extent of the breach was truly staggering. The hackers roamed freely, almost leisurely, through the digital corridors of Sony Pictures. They had the run of the place, accessing servers, databases, and systems at will. Like invisible puppeteers, they pulled the strings, manipulated the systems, and wreaked havoc, all while remaining undetected. The hackers' activities within the network were akin to a digital heist of epic proportions. They sifted through terabytes of data, cherry-picking the choicest of secrets. They copied scripts of unreleased movies, personal emails, salary information, and much more. In essence, they held a mirror up to Sony Pictures, reflecting the company's innermost workings for the world to see. It was as if Sony Pictures had been stripped bare, exposed and vulnerable. The hackers, with the deftness born of malevolent intent, had turned the digital fortress into a playground for their nefarious activities. They were not just on a mission to steal, they were there to send a message, a chilling reminder of vulnerability in an increasingly digital world. The whole operation, from infiltration to data extraction, was conducted with a level of sophistication that was both impressive and terrifying. It was a stark reminder of the power of cyber warfare and the fragility of digital security. Closing. In the span of a few weeks, Sony Pictures' digital world was thoroughly compromised. The hackers then did something unprecedented. They started leaking Sony Pictures' sensitive data to the world. Imagine the most private conversations, the most sensitive business strategies, and the rawest, unfiltered thoughts laid bare for the world to see. That's exactly what happened when the hackers decided to expose Sony Pictures in a way that sent shockwaves throughout the entire entertainment industry. The data leaked was not just any ordinary information. It included personal emails which revealed candid conversations between high-ranking executives. Yes, you heard it right, high-ranking executives. They were discussing everything from the performance of certain actors to the potential success or failure of upcoming movies. This sensitive information, which was meant to remain within the confines of Sony Pictures, was now fodder for public scrutiny, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. Employee data was also among the leaked files. This meant that social security numbers, salary details, and other private information of thousands of employees were left exposed. The magnitude of this data breach was so vast that it was akin to having your personal diary read out loud in a crowded room. And then came the unreleased films. Movies that were still months away from their premieres were suddenly available online for free. This wasn't just a blow to Sony Pictures' bottom line. It was a direct assault on the sanctity of the entire creative process. The public reaction was a mixed bag of shock, intrigue, and morbid curiosity. The media, on the other hand, was in a frenzy. News outlets were churning out story after story, dissecting the leaked emails, speculating about the unreleased films, and discussing the potential implications of the hack. But amidst all this, one thing was clear. Sony Pictures was not just dealing with a financial loss. They were facing a public relations nightmare. The aftermath of the Sony Pictures hack was devastating. As the dust began to settle, the true magnitude of the situation became painfully clear. Sony Pictures, a titan of the entertainment industry, had been brought to its knees by a cyber attack of unprecedented scale. The financial repercussions were immense. Sony was forced to write off tens of millions of dollars as a direct result of the hack. This included not only the immediate costs of investigating and mitigating the breach, but also the loss of unreleased films and scripts, and the damage to the studio's future earning potential. The company's stock took a significant hit, and the financial health of the corporation was left in a precarious state. However, the financial losses were just the tip of the iceberg. The hack had a profound impact on Sony Pictures' reputation. Confidential emails and sensitive data were leaked, revealing internal disputes, unflattering remarks about actors, and contentious business practices. The public's trust in Sony Pictures was severely damaged, and the studio's image tarnished. In the wake of the attack, Sony Pictures was forced to reassess its cybersecurity practices. The company invested heavily in bolstering its digital defenses and overhauling its IT infrastructure. Security protocols were tightened, and employees underwent rigorous cybersecurity training. The hack had exposed glaring vulnerabilities in Sony's cybersecurity, and the company was determined to prevent a repeat of the disaster. But it wasn't just Sony Pictures that learned a harsh lesson. The hack was a stark reminder for corporations worldwide about the severity and potential impact of cyber threats. It underscored the need for robust cybersecurity measures and the importance of constant vigilance in the face of ever-evolving digital threats. The Sony Pictures hack served as a wake-up call to corporations worldwide about the severity and potential impact of cyber threats. In a world that is increasingly interconnected and reliant on technology, the risks are high, the stakes are higher, and the cost of complacency can be devastating. The Sony Pictures hack left behind a trail of lessons for the digital world. The first lesson we glean from this incident is the absolute necessity for robust cybersecurity. Sony Pictures, a giant in the entertainment industry, fell prey to hackers. This underscores that no organization, regardless of its size or the sector it belongs to, is invulnerable to cyber attacks. The incident served as a wake-up call to corporations worldwide, emphasizing the need for strong, continually evolving cyber defenses. It's not just about having a firewall or an antivirus system in place anymore. It's about anticipating potential threats and having contingency plans ready to mitigate damage. The second lesson is the revelation of how deeply political motivations can be intertwined with cyber attacks. The Sony Pictures hack wasn't a random act of cyber vandalism. It was a targeted attack, believed to be in retaliation for a movie that satirized a political leader. This incident underlines the fact that in our increasingly digital world, geopolitical tensions can spill over into the realm of cyberspace, making it a new frontier for political conflict. Finally, the Sony Pictures hack exposed the vulnerability of digital data. Sensitive information, including personal emails, employee data, and unreleased films, was leaked, leading to significant financial losses and reputational damage. This incident highlighted the fact that data, the new gold in our digital age, needs to be protected with the same fervor as physical assets. It showed us that data breaches can have far-reaching consequences, extending beyond financial loss to include legal implications and damage to brand reputation. In conclusion, the Sony Pictures Hack taught us that in our digital age, cybersecurity is not optional. It emphasized that political motivations can and do play a role in cyber attacks, and that digital data, in its vulnerability, is a valuable asset that needs to be fiercely protected. The Sony Pictures Hack, a stark reminder of our digital vulnerability, changed the way corporations view and handle cybersecurity.